want the fans to have their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get momentum on our side. And then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, we got to be dogs.
Hey, and we are live. Welcome to Afterburn Soccer Show, live podcast, audio podcast where we talk FC Dallas, we talk North Texas Soccer Club, we talk Major League Soccer. Welcome, everyone. We going live now. We hope a few of you join us. You send in your comments, your reactions, or questions from, a pretty disappointing weekend for FC Dallas fans and North Texas soccer fans. Both home draws for each team. FC Dallas drawing at home against visiting St. Louis City and North Texas after crushing Sporting Kansas City in Kansas City, welcome them at Choctaw and end up giving up a late stunner 2-2 draw, but they did get the penalty kick shootout. So we're going to break down these results. We're going to get reactions. Of course, my name is Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer. Jose also with us tonight at El Chico Carmona. And our buddy Colin at Mr. Couve wearing his FC Dallas polo. Looking good there. Reppin'. I don't know if Chris is going to be able to join. Maybe he's crunching his numbers, his tax numbers. We'll see. Coach, bring him in if he is able to. But let's get right into it. A disappointing weekend. Not the weekend any fans wanted. We'll start with FC Dallas. Of course, welcome St. Louis City. After that big 4-0 victory at DC, man, this team was confident. This team was rolling. The offense was clicking. And then whatever that first half was, it was not it. It was not what fans needed as St. Louis really came out very aggressively, seemed to have a game plan that made life difficult for FC Dallas, and end up, despite giving FC Dallas getting a goal in the second half after some adjustments and some boosts, St. Louis was able to find an equalizer, sort of a brain fart moment on the back post, and the game ends in a draw. A disappointment for the fans, for the coaches, for players, but a game that teaches us something about this team. Let's just get into it. Let's get into game reactions as we think about. Oh my gosh, that's wrong. As we think about. This result for the team. Colin, I don't know if you're in chance to go first, if you're up for that.
Yeah, I can go. I mean, I want to start off by saying I had a couple guys come up to me saying they recognize and listen to the podcast. I appreciate y'all listening and everything and chatting up with them. I wish I got y'all's names. Y'all are some pretty cool people. And then also to the one guy who got the 1-of-1 Musa pin, if you somehow hear this, hit me up. I will pay you handsomely for that pin. Anyways, so it's one of those games for me, right? And I'm just gonna dive straight into it. I kind of tweeted about it prior to the game. It's that midfield three, and Quilla switched it up a lot and everything, and it worked well in DC switching it up. But you look at this St. Louis team; they were just kind of sitting back. They were just knowing we were going to press. So they're one of the teams where, all right, let's pass around the back, and if we can hit a nice diagonal, we can. And in the late half of the game, late into the game, we're able to get them, better they were able to hit us better on the counter because we were going for it. The midfield three, there couldn't connect to the attack. There was no connection. It was defensive midfielders, holding midfielders, and then straight to the attackers. And there was no cohesion. We needed a Kahike or a Valiente or a Moreno in midfield, whether it's besides Ramiro, beside Capis, which I believe with Ramiro being captain, it would have been probably beside Ramiro as a 10 to play behind and connect because Logan wasn't doing it. Musa was trying but couldn't do it. And it's something that I think the rotation of midfielders just eventually just cooked us. And like I said, it could be a blessing or it could be a curse. And I think this past game was really the root of the dysfunction in the team. There was nowhere to go with the ball. Whenever they would slightly press us, we would lose the ball. So it's just one of those things. I think the midfield is when we lost the battle, and eventually it just cost us the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And it didn't help that Logan Farrington just after such a strong couple of games just kind of fell down the roller coaster. I had no idea what was up with him, but yeah, I think you're right. The midfield was key to this one. It just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. Jose, your reactions?
Well, I have to agree with a lot of what Kuv said. The midfield got bossed. I mean, they got bossed around in the first half. They made some adjustments and handled it better, but really, it. I know I picked a 2-0 win, but as the week progressed and I looked more into St. Louis, I honestly was starting to feel more and more like a draw. So I'm not surprised with the result. I think as a fan, SFCD fan, though, you have to say that you're at home and you have to find a way to win games, drawish games like this at home. You know that's where everybody. I think that's where most FCD fans are. Uh, Basically, they're like, hey, this team is good enough to not give up uh, points at home like this. Um, you know, that said, still only one loss in the season, and they got a couple of home games coming, so hopefully they'll turn around and get 3 points coming up in our next couple of matches. So just disappointing, seeing the team struggle after such a performance the week before. Um, so hopefully this team needs to get some consistency, figure out that consistency and get it going fast.
Let's go ahead and jump over now. Let's just hear Quill. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole clip, but his energy just speaks a lot after the game when he addressed the result, his frustration, the way he's taken ownership of it too. But we'll just touch a little bit on what I think is a key quote as he starts off the post game press conference.
Yeah, I just spoke to the group. Didn't recognize us for definitely the first 45 minutes. I thought we lost. The team that you've been watching hasn't lost a mentality edge in any half that we've played all year long. Tonight we lost it in the first half. What I mean by that is like late when we were in the challenge, they went harder. Aerial duels, they won more. Important ones. And credit to them. They came in here with a bigger mentality, with something to prove, and they were proving it. And we know we need to be better. And I was proud of the start to the second half. Got the goal we needed because of our mentality. Petar steps in with an aggressive approach to win the ball and plays through the deets, and so we were rewarded for that mentality switch. And then, again, we've got to be better. Again, so many teams, you got to refocus yourself. You got to stay on the gas, not conserve leads, go for the second. And I'm pretty upset at the goal we gave up because it's a second wave set piece where guys are. It's not like somebody's wide open. It's just that goal can't happen, and they know that. But I thought our subs came in the game and not only brought life but brought quality. I think you saw the quality in Joaquin and Santi to get with. That was some really good football they were playing in the last half hour.
I just like his opening there. I didn't play the rest of the clip, but he does close by saying, he's going to look at his own preparation ahead of this one, and which had me, pondering what he was, kind of thinking about that. But definitely he didn't
I
recognize the
think
team in the first half. Which
I
I
think
think.
I think that's just him admitting that he got out coached. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like, in all honesty. But he is right. That goal should never have happened. I mean, there was two, not one, but two unmarked guys over there, and that's just horrible defending on set piece. And he's right. That's something that shouldn't happen. There, it it looked bad. And like I said, I think he's just hinting that he got out, out coached. And we saw that a lot last season, in all honesty. So this is one of those occasions where you know he's taking some of the blame, I believe, and yeah, I mean, I think he's right. I think the first half he definitely got out coached, and he did make changes in the second half that gave the team a better chance, but it still wasn't enough. And yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that he got out coached a lot last year, and turning around, he's still only his second year in MLS. So I have faith that they'll turn around.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He didn't recognize the team. I think that's what, because that was the question. Was like, was this just a flat night? Teams have flat nights. FC Dallas every team is gonna have a flat night. I mean, was it a more solid opponent? Did they underestimate the opponent? And maybe it's a little mix of all of that, And was it maybe Quill, needing really to have started Valiente, to give them that attacking edge, as Colin pointed out. So yeah, and I think so. No doubt, if he could do it again, he probably would have fielded a different starting lineup to give the team a little more aggressive, a little more hold up play, a little more ability to possess instead of just kind of bunkering and trying to survive for the good stretch of that first half, as St. Louis was, knew what they wanted to do and accomplish in this game. Yeah. Positives, though, of course, we can name it. First start and first goal for Dietzen, which is pretty wild. I mean, we'll be coming up on his 1-year anniversary joining the team. It's taken a while for a guy who's going to be in the World Cup, who's going to be with Haiti, and I don't think it was the great performance that he has locked down a spot, but great, I'm sure, for him to get that first goal underway, for fans to kind of go, why did we sign this guy if he's not getting on the field? And hey, took the goal, took the opportunity. For a while, we felt like, hey, we're gonna get a win out of this, but solid day for Dietzen. I think he did get man of the match from that goal, but also credit to Musa for disrupting, getting the ball forward, Musa doing Musa things.
Yep,
Right?
Musa thing. No, yeah, hey, he may have been on this roster for a year, but he's spent most of that time on international duty. I mean, he's probably the guy with the most international calls, since joining the team. Uh, he's been away from the club a lot, and so it doesn't even feel like a year. In all honesty, I mean, it feels like he's been with the team for like half a season, maybe,
Mm.
and that's probably more accurate. So yeah, I think he's a player that we were all wondering what he had to offer, and he showed some. I mean, it's not enough to make me say, "Hey, yeah, Kamua, you can stay on the bench" or anything like that. But I think it makes me feel a little better about the person behind Kamungo. So I'll leave it at that.
Hmm. Colin, you had any grades on Dietzen's first start, first goal?
Oh man, I don't. Yeah, you want my honest? I'm not impressed. It's Jose's like, at least we got like. I'm just not impressed, man. It's someone that like We've seen him in sub appearances, and it's lackluster. Um, he gets a goal. I mean, fair play for being there, right place, right time. Um, you know, lightning can sometimes strike twice. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not beaming or confident. But when they started the game with Shaq at left wing back, and Dietzen at right wing back, I was like, okay, this is different. Why are we putting winger with no wing back experience Dietzen against their best player in Marcel Halter? Why are we doing that? And we learned very quickly it was not the right move and switched them back. And the only thing I could think of in that whole time, because Dietzen was playing super wide and he wasn't making any actions on defense unless there was no one there. Like if Ibby was too far to the left covering the center, or Gator would go forward or whatever, he was just, it's hard to see on the broadcast, but he's hugging that right sideline and doing nothing, just waiting for the ball to maybe get to him and play a 1-2 with Musa Farrington, a midfielder. So it's one of those things where he is, it's, if you're going to have a player just do that all game, what's the point of him being there, right? We saw it with Johansson that first couple of games, trying to get used to it. At least Johansson was tracking back playing defense. At least Johansson was cutting in. And I understand Johansson's not 100%. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, let's get Johansson, whatever. My thing is, if we're wanting to play Shaq on the left until Johansson's back, and he played here last year in the 3-back in the playoffs, did Sam Zarver piss off Quill or do something? Why is my boy getting no minutes? Why is my boy getting no love? Because this is a man that came on, and meanwhile he didn't have a goal or assist on the stat sheet. He changed the game for the pro team. I mean, he was lighting a fire in those games. I mean, the famous clip of him getting the crowd riled up. 12.99, boss will be right over here. Getting the crowd riled up and everything. He brought energy to the team. You know he's going to give effort. You know he's going to go 90-0. Is he going to be like Nolan Norris was before he started playing consistently and get probably reckless yellow cards once every game or something? Probably. Is he going to be suspended for a game here and there? Probably. But I'd much rather have a guy, yes sir, you have a good one, who's going to bust his butt, get effort, and do everything he can to win, than have someone just sitting on the wing doing nothing until we're in the attack, and even then, he's just at the right place, right time, gets a goal, fair deuce. I want someone who's gonna, if we're playing a right wing back who's gonna attack and be predominantly attacking like Johansson has or Shaq Moore was in DC and everything, then why not throw Sarver there? Why not throw, if we have Ricky Lewis, throw him there. If we're gonna call up Simmons from NTSC, why not play him there? Like, you have so many people that can play an attacking wing back option. If anything, this sounds, it's not too crazy. Why not put Ramiro there? Someone who's going to still track back and give you defensive effort. Someone who can, if anything, slide back in. Y'all play the normal 4-back like they did last year when they were down games and had to get stuff going. There's so many things that Dietzen does not give us that literally anyone else on the roster can. To where it's a big question mark to me, like, I think it's another Zanata thing where we spend a lot of money on him. Let's give him a shot. And it's not like Salih where, well, we look at Salih and he's doing good for North Texas, but you look at him for the first team and he can't do anything for the first team. Dietzen at least is getting minutes. He can beat a man here and there. But, I mean, his dribbling, subpar. Passing, subpar. Positioning, subpar. It's just not to the MLS level. It worries me. It worries me that we're starting Kamungo at left wing back to start. I mean, that's just my opinion. But it worries me that we definitely don't have a backup. If anything, also, maybe Torquato gets some minutes in the first team. He did last year. Why don't we see him maybe get some minutes here? A lot of question marks, a lot of ifs, ands, who, why, different questions you can ask. It's still early in the season. And I still think some people are trying to get fitness. Maybe that's why we didn't get some NTSC kids playing with the first team or anything like that yet. Like playing. So just one of those things. Just gotta wait and see. But I'm not. I'm happy for Dietzen getting a start. Him and his family are amazing, sweet people. Love them to death. They're great. But professionally looking at the team, I don't see what Dietzen brings that someone else off the bench couldn't bring more of.
Yeah.
And it just worries me overall.
Yeah, love your comments and questions out there, folks watching along with us. If you had a reaction from the home draw for FC Dallas, disappointing home draw against St. Louis City,
I want to expand
your
on what
take, let us know. Go ahead, Jose.
expand on what Coop said. Um, all fair points on Dietzen, other than he did score, but outside of that, um, Dietzen was part of a greater problem. Uh, Dietzen only had like something like 12 pass attempts, something like that. Highlighting that he was barely involved. Um, but so was Delgado. Delgado, he's always been a flip a coin guy, and we got bad Delgado for this match. So you got Deaton, who for whatever reason simply wasn't involved enough. Neither was Delgado, who was, like I said, we got bad Delgado, and then Farrington's having an off day. That's three guys right there that
Mm-hmm.
know. And I'll take it a step further. Kaik and Kappas struggle with their passing. So Kaik more so than Kappas, but still, it basically having that many people struggle. This is what you're gonna get. Maybe we should be lucky that the team got out there with a point because they found a way to overcome. I mean, let's put it this way: Moreno came in like in the 66th minute. He had 18 pass attempts. you know, and
Mm-hmm.
Oriente also came in and he had 12 pass attempts. So those guys came in and immediately jump started the attack. Uh, so it's that's basically what you saw. You saw a team that just simply could not get going, and because they had too many pieces that were firing, they weren't firing on the right cylinders. You know, so they need to correct that going forward. And yeah, I agree. I think Dietzen and Sarver, and Julio and all these other wingers are all in the same boat. They have to show they can play wing back, preferably on both sides, or they're not getting on the field. And I think that's why you're seeing Dietzen and not Sarver. I love Sarver, and I agree that Sarver would brings more. But what is he doing that Dietzen is the guy that gets in for him ahead of him? And I don't know. Maybe Dietzen's balling out in practice, and we're not seeing it. So we'll see. There's some guys that are great practice guys and terrible field players, and vice versa. So it could be that.
The other piece of this is like the Nolan Norris story, which beginning of the season I'm like, it's got to be this kid's year. He's getting the call ups, the youth national teams. He's gotten some minutes here and there. He's got some starts, and he looked like a young player. He's going to make some mistakes, but he's going to be all right, and I thought surely game one of the season they're going to start him and start developing that, and they didn't. They went to the veterans, and maybe Quill is just like, I'm going to turn to these veteran guys who I know are going to be good under fire, and but then injuries, whatever opens the door to Nolan, and now Nolan I think he's a lockdown guy. I mean, he's still not completely there yet, but one huge save and he was fired up. I mean, he was so excited. He brings a passing element. I mean, I just don't think you can sit him. And so I wonder if we're waiting to see that next evolution in the wingbacks, like that kid who gets, maybe the Sarver who gets an extended run, maybe someone else who says, really, this is my position. So I leaves us with some question marks. Just what is the line? I mean, these are the things we're doing, and the roller coaster of some of these players. I mean, Logan Farrington is one. I'm probably going to try to write a piece about him this week, just because we see what he can do, on his day when he's on, and he's not young anymore. He's 25, right? He's 24, 25. Like, he's past the thing where we go, oh, he's young, he's going to be inconsistent. At this point, no, he's a grown man, and he needs to be finding that consistency kind of going forward. And I don't know if we have much more time. If this is just his ceiling, and he's going to be a guy that you can turn to, and he's going to have some good games, and then he's going to disappear for a couple of games. But so these are the question marks. I know that Quill and the company are exploring, and so they're going to have to solve. I mean, so a disappointing one. But a game two, I think we give St. Louis some credit for coming in with a game plan that looked far better than maybe what we had anticipated. Credit to them too for making life difficult for FC Dallas. But let's keep shifting here. North Texas. Meanwhile, also we expected a romp at home against Sporting Kansas City too. After they did that just last weekend, and
the 4-1 victory last weekend.
The 4-1 victory in Kansas City, and North Texas just looked on another level. Well, the good news is Natty James with the brace, 4 goals in 2 matches. The kid is playing out of his mind. Exciting to see. But Kansas City, I think they had 2 shots on goal and 2 goals. That's the cruelty of soccer sometimes.
Yeah, but I want to just add that the team was very complacent in this match. They came out and really they were flat that first half. They were just getting outplayed by a team that they just ran around circles the week before. And that was very stunning to say, okay, we're a good team, but you're not that good that you can afford to overlook anybody. I don't care if you just beat these guys 4-1. And they came out and they looked flat. They finally, they did some things to, because they're a talented squad. But my God, to watch the week before and then watch this game, it's like, come on, man. You can't say that wasn't the flattest performance of the season. They knew they were better than Sporting. They knew they could beat them, and they didn't even. I think they just thought they could turn it on at any point and beat these guys, and they let them build confidence. They let Sporting get confidence and find a way to stay in the game. And honestly, that's my disappointment. The disappointment of this is that it's like, hey, this team, North Texas, they've got this massive road, all these road games coming up where they're going to be away from home. These home games are must win. You got to get 3 points at home because that road stretch is going to be brutal. And it's just very disappointing to see them come out and simply just get out hustled for a large portion of the match. That was very disappointing.
Yeah, Gall, head coach John Gall, after the game was, chalked up some of it to just especially the late goal. You were at that point, you were 2-1. Yeah, the game had been physical, had been tough. Sporting Kansas City were not playing like they did last weekend, which you should anticipate. They don't want to be embarrassed. They had a fire all week in practice, But that late goal was it was a fast break. It was a lack of concentration. It was guys getting out of position, getting too greedy maybe. The hard lessons that young players need to learn about how to close out a game, how to find that foul, find that thing that just kills it and preserves your 2-1 thing. Colin, any thoughts on this North Texas draw? Although they did win the penalty shootout, they did quite confidently.
I'll say I was the only one, I believe, last podcast that said be careful. Like a 3-1 or a 3-2, because Kansas City's one of those teams historically too. They'll have a really bad run of form, and then they'll play somebody back to back. I think it was Colorado 2 years ago. They got embarrassed. I think it was like 4-1 at home. Went to Colorado and slapped them 3-0. It's one of those things where Next Pro is one of those leagues it's kind of the beauty of it, right? With all the different changes of the roster. Sometimes you get your older players or veteran players, your 22, 23-year-olds that are mostly predominantly NTSC or like Next Pro players with your youngsters, and then you mix and match. It's something that just creates chaos, right? Kansas Kansas City, obviously, you could tell played differently. They played a lot more direct and weren't as passive, which was that's the one thing you break down North Texas this year. If you can go straight at head on and get them behind our defensive mids and kind of the one bad thing about having such big players like Bigger and Starnes is they're not the quickest. So it's one of those you can get one on one with one of them and they have no backup. All it takes is one little move and you got an open shot to take. And it's just something that Kansas City took and exposed. Um, like it's just one of those things where not too worrisome for North. It's worrisome for North Texas to see, like Jose said, we had that huge away game stretch. So it's one of those we need to be picking up points at home. You cannot afford to lose 1 point, let alone possibly 2 points here at home when you can get a solidified three. Two's great. It's not like MLS where you look at MLS, for example, right above us is Colorado on 12 points. They've played the same amount of games as us, but they have 4 wins and 0 losses. Us, we've only lost one game, but we're still behind them because of 3 wins and 3 draws. Next pros, the kind of beauty of that is, well, you can get 2 points out of a draw, which is great. That's awesome. But 3 points is always going to be way better than 2 or 1 or 0. And if North Texas SC cannot maximize on those 3 point opportunities, like this game should have been, we could see another season where are we making playoffs? Are we squeezing into playoffs last minute? Are we missing out by a point or two? Or one of these draws that we had gonna come back towards the end of the year and bite us from a championship run? It's one of those you never know. And next pro, you need to capitalize on every point. I would say next pro, you need to capitalize on every point more than MLS because you have that shootout for the 2 points. So it's one of those you gotta get your points. And if you can't, you won't. And it's one of those things I like. There's some good things to take away of it. I mean, James is on fire. If he can keep that form up, that's great. Keep it up. If Nice can keep up the service and playmaking ability and not get taken out of the game by man marking or zonal marking of 2 players on him at once, it's one of those where he's really effective. Um, Seeing Garcia kind of go up the wing a bit, not saying central, but going on either wing and kind of playing almost like an Iniesta role when he was younger, playing on the wing a little bit, coming inside and moving there to where he can play anywhere on the pitch in the midfield and bring something to the attack. It's something you can definitely see bright spots that you haven't seen before with North Texas this season or in players in the past like Garcia. Never thought he'd be good as a winger, more of a central 8 style player. Um, but it's one of those where the team's playing well. It's getting better. I will say that besides the absolute shocker and obviously the win played a factor into it in Austin, I can't really look at North Texas this season and be like, my God, that was a horrible, horrendous performance, and there's nothing to take from it. Meanwhile, last season there was a few games I'm looking and I'm like, well, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. That was just horrible. And I know I have a show on Monday to talk about it, and there's nothing good to talk about. I like to be positive sometimes and not be negative that much, but this team, there's a lot of positives, and this is a team that had Ricky Lewis and Simmons who was flying and looking way better. They didn't have them this week, I don't believe. So it's one of those where maybe they have them, they do better. But they got to learn to play without them because if they're going to be good enough to get called up for that first team action, or if they're hurt or anything like that, you still got a truck. You can't pause your season for your best players to come back. So that's the one bad thing I guess I'll say with Dallas being a developmental club and try to develop those young guys is sometimes you don't get to keep them all season. So North Texas just got to plug those holes. But other than that, wasn't a great performance, but it's something to build upon, and you got to take advantage of those points at home for sure.
Yeah, learning. I think that's the big thing. Learning from this team. This team's young. This team still is new. I mean, I think what's markedly different. Last season, of course, we had some talent on that squad. I mean, Sam Sarver, but a lot more talent on this team, and academy guys who can really grow into something over the next couple seasons. So hopefully they keep building on that. But really good stuff that we will roll with here. Let's close out the show. Get some match predictions going. Of course, North Texas will travel up to the Pacific Northwest and take on Portland Timbers 2 this weekend. Should be an interesting matchup. I meant to look. I don't even know where
So Portland has only played 4 games, 1 win, uh, two losses, and 1 draw, and they're horrible offensively. 2 goals scored
Mm.
this season, and 6 goals allowed. So it will be I'm sure Portland will try to keep it a low scoring affair. Try to you know slow down the game and try to eke out a either a draw or a 1-0 win. That's what Portland's going to try to do because they struggle offensively. They have, like I said, almost no attack. Solid defense. So expect a defensive game. North Texas would do themselves well to score early. If they can get on track early, Portland's not a team that's gonna be able to catch up. So if they can score early and open up the game, it could be a big win. But also, even if it's not, even if it's just a 1-0 win, scoring early will make their life a whole lot easier.
Yeah. So let's do predictions. I mean, are you? I'm gonna go with a
Yeah,
2-1 North Texas win.
I am gonna go with that 1-0 prediction for North Texas. It'll be I say it'll be close. It'll be close. It'll be a defensive. Like I said, Portland will do everything to try to keep it low scoring, and I think North Texas gets a goal in the first half and then just rides out for the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm just looking
But,
for this team to get
but yeah,
better. Just
yes,
to.
but you have to worry. You have to be concerned about them allowing another late goal and having it be 1-1. But it's 1-0. I'm going to have faith that they'll rectify that.
Yeah, like Colin is tied up. That's all right. Um, uh, and we can come back to him if he's got a prediction for North Texas at Timbers too. And yeah, by the way, one of the storylines we have been, is what happened to Simmons. I guess he's maybe with the first team. Maybe he has a knock. I need to inquire a little bit more what's going on because he started, so well and was such a good focal point, drawing a lot of defenders. Kind of miss him. I think he would help.
He was looking like a man playing among children. In all honesty.
Maybe the first team needs him. Maybe he has a knock. I mean, I think there's a few
I,
guys like
my
that.
money, my money is on it being a knock. No, FC Dallas is not the most open of teams when it comes to injuries. So I would say it's gonna be a knock.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, FC Dallas will still be at home this weekend. A big game against Los Angeles Galaxy, who still missing Ricky. Uh, Looked like a very solid team, a much better team than last year. A team that certainly is going to come in and try to get points and be capable of getting points in Frisco. But this is another one where FC Dallas needs to get the win. FC Dallas just needs to get these home points, even if it's not pretty. But there's really no doubt in my mind that FC Dallas should be the better team at home. It should be a comfortable 2-0 kind of result, even if the Galaxy are going to have, put this team to the test a little bit here, and there's still quality on that roster for sure. And I feel like I think as I was thinking about the LA got a big win, but they
Against
did
all,
play midweek, right?
yeah,
Yeah, they beat Austin in Austin.
yep, 2-1. That was a big win.
Yeah, it was a good win
I
for
mean,
them.
Galaxy are not a bad team. They're not. Do you remember that they were in CCL also? I believe.
Yes, they'll be playing on Wednesday, so that really should again put things in Dallas's favor, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they're a solid team. Their issue has been with red cards, if I remember correctly. Um, they've played several games off of red cards. So this is another team that, yes, they don't have the prettiest record, but they're far better than they look, and it could be another St. Louis type game. You can't come out flat against LA Galaxy, who, by the way, has St. Louis's best attacker starting for them
Right.
in Klaus. So you wonder where St. Louis attack went. St. Louis Attack went to the LA Galaxy, and that guy's a unit. He'll give Rugita and everybody a handful. It's going to be a tight game. Like I said, I expect to be very close, and I I I hope FCD. I'm confident that FCD can get the win, but I'm not as confident as I was last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Colin, you got predictions for North Texas and FC Dallas? North Texas at Portland 2.
Okay. I think I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Um, I think it's the first time I'm going to predict a loss this season. I don't think North Texas gets it done. If they play like they did against Kansas City, if they play like they did against Kansas City, then I definitely don't think they're going to get it done. Unfortunately, if they can bounce back and play like they have been on the road sometimes, then sure, get a win. But I'm not confident in this team right now. That's my prediction for LA Galaxy at home. My mind, Jose, you got your computer up. Do they play Champions Cup this weekend or this Wednesday, or they get knocked out last round?
I believe they're already out. In all honesty,
Okay. I think they lost it to Luca, or was that no? San Diego lost it to Luca. They played someone else, but the Galaxy looked not
oh
great
no,
whenever they were
no,
playing.
no, no! It says leg 2 of 2.
Yeah, no,
It's,
Yeah,
that's
that's what
what.
I
Yeah.
thought.
they will play
And
Toluca. Yeah.
so it's one of those where they're gonna have to go all out Wednesday and get that win.
Yep, because
It
that's
wouldn't
0-0.
surprise me. Yeah, they got to go out and win it outright. So it's one of those where I just they got to give it their all Wednesday. I think we'll play a weekend squad on Saturday, or at least a tired squad. You got to take advantage of that and get a win. There's no excuse. You got to get out there, fire on all cylinders, figure out what's going to go on with this team in the midfield. Ramiro's probably out because he got. Thankfully, it's not a serious injury. From what I'm hearing, it's just a really deep bad cut. They had to get immediate stitches for, which is why they took him out and told him not to bend it. They thought maybe it was a rupture or a tear with the cut. It looks pretty bad. So they just decided to stretch him off, take him off, get him taken care of. But it seemed to be just be a deep cut. Hopefully nothing else major when scans come back. Um, but most likely going to be a Kappas led midfield. Hopefully they throw in Kaique or Valiente in there. If Delgado starts, it's going to be trouble. I still think this team should get it done. And I'm going to go with I'm going to go 2-1 win at home. You got to get it done against the Galaxy, especially if they're going to be tired and worn out from Wednesday's game against Toluca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna go 2-0 home win. I think Dallas, just got to get it done, and it's gonna look a lot better. And I think every game they're learning more about themselves and what they're capable of. But I'm ready for that. Just another complete performance. I say another complete performance, both sides of the ball.
I'm going with a 3-1 win myself.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, we're gonna leave it there. Really, a really nice show tonight. It was a disappointing weekend with the home draws. We don't like home draws, but on the other hand, sometimes they do happen. Sometimes this league, especially Major League Soccer, it's a league of parity. These teams, even a team that doesn't seem to be so good, they can shock you, they can surprise you. So FC Dallas is going to play that role for some of these matches coming up. Almost did against Los Angeles FC earlier in the season, but that's what we keep watching for and keep seeing this team grow, both clubs grow. A lot of good soccer ahead, a lot of good action, a lot of Open Cup action this week. Wish FC Dallas was in it. Of course, Champions Cup stuff happening on CONCACAF stuff. So much good soccer. So go out there, enjoy, have a good time, and of course, support FC Dallas and North Texas Soccer Club. We'll leave it there. Jose, Colin, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi guys.
All right.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.